Bridget, it's amazing that we got her to come here meet with us today. Her average sales price is upwards of $1.3 million. She's out of Pacific Palisades, California, and if you can imagine this, at that price point, she's on track to do over 36 transactions this year. And what you may not know is one of her key sources of business is contacting expired listings and for sale by owners, FSBOs.
Yes,
not a magic pill here.
No, I actually pick the phone up and I call them and say, when do you plan on hiring the right agent for the job of selling your home? And they invite me over and then I list their house.
Wow, that is not rocket science.
No. And sometimes they hang up and sometimes they say foul things and I don't care and I call them anyway.
Well, you know, I've been working with agents for a while and it's so hard to get them to muster up that courage to contact expireds and FSBOs.
Right.
What would you tell them?
So I figured out this will remove any fear that you have from calling them. Because I've dealt with the same thing, where agents are just scared to death to pick up the phone. And then I finally said to them, I said, what are you afraid of? These are people that you don't know, that if you ran into them in Starbucks that day after calling them on the phone, they would have no idea that it was you. They couldn't pick you out of a police lineup. So there's no reason to be afraid of it. You know, you can call them and be a buffoon. You can call an expired and you could belch on the phone and drop the phone and fall over your chair or knock over, break glass. It doesn't matter because they're not a critical part of your database. They're not somebody that you know. If you embarrass yourself in front of a stranger, there's no lasting impact with that. So there's no reason to be afraid. You can just call them and try your very best to get an appointment, and if they say no, then you hang up and you call the next one. It's almost like fishing in a barrel because they've all identified themselves as sellers of property. They want to sell. So it's not even a cold call, it's a warm call. So you should not be afraid of it at all. So when I talk to people about that, and the other thing I mention is it's like the tide. You know, the tide comes in and out every day. Is it the same water that's coming up every day? No, it changes every day.
True.
So if you have a horrible day and you mess up with the expireds one day, just call all the new ones the next day. It's just a fresh batch coming in. And you can have big success. Last year, I listed a $10.5 million property in Malibu from calling expireds. This past Wednesday, I listed a 1.495 in Glendale from calling expireds. So so don't be afraid of the price point either, because sometimes agents, when they call, they only call the lower end or average sales price homes. So you have a lot less competition if you call the high end. So get on the phone and call the multi-million-dollar owners. They're regular people too, so just give them a call.
It's just amazing with that type of available business out there, and people are so hesitate to contact them, and these happen to be the only people that are actively wanting to sell their house right now.
I know.
They're trying to sell it themselves, or they just had it listed with another agent.
Right.
They're warm as you get.
I think they're the hottest leads every day.
Yeah. The
for sale by owners and expireds are the hottest real estate leads in your office every single day.
Wow.
Because they've said, I want to sell my house. Help me, come help me. So.
And yet those are the people that agents are so frequently afraid to contact.
Right.
Amazing.
They should be more afraid of messing up with their database.
Right.
Or their sphere, because those are people you see every day that know you.
Absolutely.
So those are the ones you should be still doing and still be professional in everything you do, but those are the ones you should be worried about.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think it's a very good point. Yeah. You don't want to mess up with your friends.
So I want to tell you one challenge for them real quick. Next week, just as a game, if they've never done it, just make yourself call expireds for 1 week and just see what happens. Usually if they do that, they'll get over that fear, and then they'll have great success.
Yeah, all it takes is one $10 million listing, and I'd get over it pretty quick.
Yeah, that's right.
Bridget, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.